The significance of America's fallen national Christmas tree, Michael Snyder reports. America's national Christmas tree fell down this week. That tree is the most important national symbol of our most important national holiday. The National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony has been performed every year since 1923, since 100 years ago. And so the falling of the tree has happened as we approach the centennial anniversary of this tradition. Do you think that this was just a coincidence? I certainly don't. I believe, he says, that the downing of the most important national symbol, our most important national holiday, is significant. On Tuesday, a very powerful gust of wind knocked the 40-foot tree completely to the ground. The national Christmas tree near the White House was knocked over Tuesday when strong winds roared through the Washington area. The National Park Service says the 40-foot tree from Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia fell over during a strong wind gust. Interestingly, the tree had already been replaced in 2023 because the first one had developed a fungus. This year's tree was already replaced once after the tree originally planted for the ceremony developed a fungus, WUSA TV reported. A wide variety of diseases target Christmas trees, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Once the national Christmas tree came down, many immediately compared it to the Biden presidency. Here's one example. National Christmas tree falls down, the Republican House Committee on the Judiciary wrote in a post on X, formerly Twitter, perfectly summing up Joe Biden's presidency. Now, without a doubt, Joe Biden's presidency has not gone well, but the truth is that Joe Biden and all of the other corrupt politicians in Washington are a reflection of the country as a whole. We are a fallen nation. We are completely, utterly unprepared to handle the consequences of decades of very foolish decisions. In our time, Americans are becoming increasingly emotionally unstable. According to the CDC, the national suicide rate just hit the highest in more than 80 years. The latest number also show that men are losing hope and that they're in despair at a far higher rate than women. For rate of males, 22.8 and 5.7 for females in 2021. Meanwhile, the worst drug addiction crisis in our history has resulted in yet another new record high for drug overdose deaths. If our society is so great, then why are despair and depression off the charts? Can anyone answer that question? If so many Americans cannot emotionally handle the way that things are now, what's going to happen during the chaotic years ahead? In 2024 and beyond, there will be more political unrest, more wars and conflicts, more pestilences, more economic troubles, more famine, more inflation, more natural disasters. In particular, one thing that I will be watching in the months ahead is the sun. A cluster of very large sunspots has become extremely active, and scientists are warning that this group could potentially pose a danger for our planet. A cluster of sunspots has rolled into view of Earth and may send a solar storm our way as early as Saturday, tomorrow. The cluster includes about a dozen sunspots that are around 125,000 miles wide, about 15 times bigger than our planet, Space.com reports. The group is very active. It had already shot out 3 M-class and several C-class solar flares before it came into view per space weather. And the article that I just quoted above was written before a full halo CME was unleashed on Wednesday. On Wednesday, SWPC said a fourth CME, known as a full halo CME, prompted forecasters to upgrade the G2 watch to a G3 level, geomagnetic storm watch for Friday. That's today. Full halo CMEs send out solar material away from the sun in all directions, appearing halo-like, and usually result in geomagnetic storms on our Earth. This faster-moving halo CME is progged to merge with 2 of the 3 upstream CMEs, all arriving at Earth today, December 1st, according to space weather. I'm entirely convinced that the behavior of the sun will eventually become a huge story. We have already seen more activity during this solar cycle than we did during the last solar cycle, and this solar cycle is not expected to peak until next year at the earliest. Unfortunately, a new study reveals that this solar maximum is coming sooner than expected, most likely in early 2024. The new forecast comes from an Indian team of researchers and contrasts with the latest forecast from NASA, which puts its arrival in late 2025. If you think that the past few years have been chaotic, just wait until you see what's coming. The things that will happen next year, 2024, and beyond are truly going to be wild, and much of our population is completely and utterly unprepared to emotionally deal with the very challenging times that are approaching. We are a fallen nation with a fallen population, it appears. So was it just a coincidence that the most important national symbol of our most important national holiday just violently fell to the ground? Of course not. I believe that someone is trying to send us a message, but hardly anyone is listening, Michael Snyder says. And this is by Michael Snyder. This is by Michael Snyder. He says, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter and encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.